Hello, this is Tom Tribunella, your fearless professor for Management Information Systems. And what I wanted to do in this video is give you some hints on how to complete Homework 1. So Homework 1 has been posted to the Blackboard website, and I thought I would go through a few aspects of the homework. First of all, what the homework is going to be is a spreadsheet. So you'll be turning in an Excel spreadsheet. And the Excel spreadsheet will help you make decisions, financial decisions, for a small case study. So you don't have to design the spreadsheet. You don't have to make up the case study. All that is done for you. All you have to do is reproduce what I have done in the Word document on an Excel spreadsheet, so that you can demonstrate your techniques with Excel. And then in case 1, we're going to expand on this homework, and you're going to go ahead and then come up with your own case and your own original spreadsheet. But let's get back to the homework. So the objective here is to produce a Excel spreadsheet that is going to help you with decision making. And basically, if we go through the steps of decision making, it's going to be number 1, we have to identify a problem or decision that needs to be supported with some type of an analysis. We're either going to design or choose a decision model. Most of the time you're going to choose a decision model because there's a decision model available for almost any type of business decision that you need to make. In this case, we're going to use cost, volume, profit analysis. Then we're going to collect and input the data that is needed by the model, so that we can crunch the data and get some information and use that information to make our decision. Then we're going to construct a spreadsheet with an input section and an output section. The input section is what is going to contain the input data, and then the output information is going to be all equations and graphs. The reason why we want to design a spreadsheet this way is so that we can just change the input data, and the output section will recalculate itself so that we can ask what-if questions. And of course, we're going to review and analyze the information, make the decision, and then review the results. So on this particular spreadsheet, we're going to be using quite a few spreadsheet techniques in Excel. We're going to be formatting cells, we're going to be addressing cells, we're going to be drawing an XY graph, which Excel sometimes calls a scatter plot. Actually, we'll be drawing 2 of them. We're going to be using spreadsheet formulas. We're going to use some if-then statements, and we're also going to use spin control buttons. So what you're going to do is you're going to submit for homework the Excel spreadsheet file that includes the 5 sections that are contained in the example that is in this Word instruction for Homework 1. And so the first section is the only section that contains the input data, and then we have sections 2, 3, 4, and 5. Section 2 is a contribution margin income statement. Section 3 is the information output section that is the basis for the 2 graphs, and then 4 and 5, sections 4 and 5, you're going to be drawing the graphs. All right, so the case study here, or the narrative, the example that we'll be using is that an individual wants to start an online dating service. That individual is Thomas James. We're going to call him TJ. He wants to open up TJ's Love Connection, and he's going to charge $20 for each date that is arranged by the website. Fixed costs for things like advertising, equipment, software, utilities, furniture and fixtures, so on and so forth, will be $5,000 per month. Variable cost related to the arrangement of each date is going to be $10. So the variable cost is $10 per transaction. Once again, the price is $20 per transaction. Total state and federal income taxes will add up to be 40%. And TJ thinks that he can arrange 325 dates for the first month of operation. The relevant operating range will be 325 dates to 766 dates per month, which is going to be analyzed in 10% increments. And then we're going to just go ahead now and look at the 5 sections that need to be reproduced on your spreadsheet. In the very, very first section, we have the input data section, and that contains spin control buttons. So if you want to insert spin control buttons into your spreadsheet, which is a requirement, then in Excel, you have to click on the Developer tab, then go to Insert, and then Form Controls, and then Spin Buttons. And you can program the spin buttons. And what the spin buttons will do is they will change the value of the input data. What is the input data? The $20 for the unit price, the $10 for the variable cost per unit. Remember, every unit is a date that got arranged. The fixed cost is $5,000. Tax rate is 40%. The quantity sold, the beginning quantity sold, will be 325 units in a month. And the increment is we're going to analyze this business and increase the sales by 10% increments so that we can figure out where we're going to break even and how much money we're going to make and other information like that. Now, if we go down to the output section, and once again, this is just these things right here. This is all data that you type in, and then you connect them to the spin control buttons. The next section is all equations. So you put in the unit quantity, 325. You will not type in 325 on your spreadsheet. You will reference the cell 325 from the data input section. So we put in, once again, the reference to 325, the reference from the input section of the price of $20. We multiply 325 units times $20, and that gives us monthly sales of $6,500. $10 per transaction or date. So 325 times 10 is going to be $3,250. That's the variable cost. And we subtract the variable cost from the sales, and we get the contribution margin of $3,250. We subtract out our monthly fixed cost of $5,000, and we have an operating loss. So the operating loss is $1,750. So 325 dates isn't going to do it for us because we're going to be losing money. There are no taxes when you have a loss, but I still expect a tax formula to go into that cell, which is based on an if-then formula. And then the bottom line here, after the taxes of 0, is a negative $1,750. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go to section 3. Using all equations, you're going to create a range for the data. You're going to start out with 325 units, and then you're going to increase 325 by a 10% increment until we get to 766. And you'll notice that we start making a profit somewhere around 500 units. And of course, this is all equations, and the profit and loss is an if-then statement. Then we go to the first scatter plot, which is also called an XY graph, and we put in the revenue, we put in the total cost, and the total cost is the addition of variable costs plus fixed costs. And as you can see, where the total cost line crosses the revenue line is where we break even, and so that's at around 500 units. And then the last graph, also an XY scatter plot, is the profit graph, where we graph the contribution margin, and then we graph the operating income, the taxes, and the net income. And of course, we don't have taxes and net income until after we cross the break-even point. And then once you've done those 5 sections, you're ready to go ahead and submit the homework to the Blackboard website. So you basically have to figure out the graphs and the equations. But this is the answer right here. So you won't be making up your own data. You'll just be using the data that I'm giving you. Now, if you want more hints on how to do this homework assignment, you can go to the course, click on week 2, go into the decision-making section, and you'll see that there is a little presentation number 205.2, and it's decision support with a spreadsheet and cost, volume, profit. And that will give you a breakdown of all of the math involved, and it'll also give you a lot of guidance on how to do the if-then statement for the tax formula. And also, once again, we're also going to use an if-then statement for the profit and loss. So with those few hints, I suggest you start working on homework 1 immediately. Good luck. May the force be with you.